Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are finally live. If you are here at the notification, sorry, wanted to get the everything all set up and finished up. Wanted to get the expected moves, so I'll toss that out here for everyone else to see. IWM 376, QQQ 638, SPY 547, Tesla 746, Meta 1430, Microsoft 775, Nvidia 4947, Amazon 397, Apple 433, Google 366. Ford 41 cents, Palantir $1.15, Intel 146, Netflix 17.50. How you guys doing? Get my desk all cleared. Okay, first word we heard were Nvidia, everything else cut off. Well, don't know what to tell you. That'd be interesting to see. I'm actually. Well, you're in the midship, so you have everything. All I did was list off the expected moves. If I find that did cut everything off, then the next week we'll wait. All right, let's kick it off. So we're gonna talk about the dollar, Bitcoin, the Russell, the Nasdaq, the S&P, and then probably a couple few other tickers. A couple few, that is a number. So I'm actually short the US dollar. I did just add on too, but also instead of adding on to the US dollar, Japanese yen, I actually have. Well, I did add on to that, but instead of like going full blown, what I did was I added a little bit, a few minutes. Let me just tell you exactly where it's at. All right, so I got in at 151,351, so just shy of that. And then I have a stop short at 137. Hang on, we're on the daily. Let's get to the daily. This data looks different. 150, 137. There we go. Okay, never mind. Okay, so when we actually break this wick right here, that's when I'm going to go short. I know it's going to be, I'm going short or adding on short right as we get into that zone. Yeah, I just want a full blown trend break. The one I have on now, by the time it gets there, my stop will be in the green. So if it does bounce before it gets there, I'll have a little bit of a trade. Ultimately, guys, I'm going to be short this thing for some time. But if you guys remember the last trade, went short, nailed it. Actually went short right here, added on up here, drove it all the way down. It was amazing. And then my group started to like mock me, saying like, "No, it's going to come all the way back up." Because I want to say like, "Hey, I'm in this guy's months, years if I have to." But I can't just sit here and just kind of let it go. It's not an investment. And with Forex, when you add on to positions, it doesn't average your price out. I'll have a short here, 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 and each one has their own stop. If you put a take profit on there. So while I do have positions that will remain short, I will play the in and out game as well. All right. What we got? Just back up and watch at 1.25, 1.5 speed. It's all there. Sweet. Steve, thank you for that. So hopefully that continues to sell off. Dollar needs to sell off. That's nothing. This is the open to that tiny little itty bitty red candle. That's the open. Technically, it's red. Red only because we opened here and we're here now. I wouldn't really call that a meltdown. Some people, when they talk about the stocks, they'd see it move like this, like, this thing's melting down, and they'd post it in the chat, and you're like, what are you talking about? Turns out they're like a 30-second time frame. Bitcoin, a little bit of a push up. As far as Bitcoin goes, I'm going to have to just worry about it if it breaks this range right here. Bullish above, bearish below. If we hit that zone and reject, cool. If we hold this blue zone, last time we talked about it, I told my group kind of bullish above, bearish below these zones. But we've been inside. We've had two. We're on the daily time frame still, so all the way down, all the way back up, and just sideways in between. Is this TradingView logo always here? Not that. That. Is that just sticking out to me, or is that weird? All right, let's save that. All right, for my Bitcoin nerds out there, I'd had to play that bullish. If you were kind of making some lower highs, maybe we're cracking above that right now. Still iffy. Always there? Okay. All right. The Russell. Actually, I think that's bullish. I think we finally got above. So we hit this ultimate, just instant sellers. Hit it again, still had some sellers. Not so many sellers, and we're clearing out the rest of the room with whatever sellers are still kind of lingering around at this area. So we hit that, and we have enough. Like you can see how not even entertaining a wick. Nothing. Get back. Get out of here. Same thing here. As soon as we enter that zone, nope. Get out. It's like playing whack-a-mole. This time the mole got up there and looked around a little bit. This one did a full 360, started talking to his other friends, right? So there's just not a lot of bears there. Now we've full blown candle. I think we're kind of just testing that. I'd have to be bullish the Russell right now. So if let's say if we open up in the morning like here, I wouldn't want to open up right where we're at. I'd want to give it some room to move and breathe, but I would go long. As it stands right now, I'd have to be long with the stop outside of the zone, so I'd have to go right here, right below this green wick. If we were to open up above, maybe I could entertain just putting my stop, right here at the overnight lows. The expected move on this IWM 208.83. If I don't do this now, we will forget it. Stock market, correct me if I'm wrong, is closed on Friday. Is that right? 201.31. I think you might have got the dip buy on Friday. A little profit taking action. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Close. We got a short week. A little retail week action. Okay. So the one thing I did swing long is QQQ. I am in some QQQ calls. So full send as far as that goes. They need to just go for it. I'm not in any futures contracts right now. Yeah. Rally base. It kind of looks like a rally base rally, if you ask me. No real reason to be bearish. Testing that from the top. So we were pretty horizontal there for a little bit. Depending on where you want to draw your range, there's just pretty decent levels right here. Ultimately, buyers holding it down. Sellers just moved out of the way. Old resistance, new support. There's a bunch of terms, bunch of ways to word it. Either way, here we are. So I am hoping, I'm on the bullish side, hoping that does continue up. We are at all-time highs. That is the nature of the beast, though. All-time highs almost every day. If you're in a bullish market, that's just how it is. We'll hit all-time highs and maybe bleed for a little bit and then do it again. So make it happen. We were making, so remember we had the pennant drawn out. And this wrecked everyone. Everyone that if you played that. So we kind of had this pennant drawn out right here. And since we broke that, we deleted the bottom line, right? But did we completely obliterated anything there? If you were worried about that trend line and lower highs, nope. Sucks to suck. It's basically what any institutional player told you that day. 452. I don't like having the microphone just covered up my keyboard like that. All right, QQQ 440 even. Let's wake up at all-time highs. Some zones, they're just not needed anymore. Let's delete those for now. These are like intraday stuff. We're going to get that out of here. Bring these back if we need to, we'll bring them back. Right now, there's no real zone to draw off of up here. And that people do usually ask me a lot, like, hey, where's the zone at? I would need a literal crystal ball to tell you any zone that's inside here. There was just no sellers in here. So nothing in the way. So we're kind of in no man's land to see where buyers are going to pick that one up at. As far as SPY goes, 426.68. Let's try again, 526.68. 15.74. Hang on a second. I was gonna see if we'd made a full blown rein it back in play. One of the comments said, "Hey, it got above the expected move." And these are not support and resistance levels. Guys, when we get above there, we're either looking to just vacuum it up to that second spot or bring it all the way down. Nothing of that has to happen. But just know that inside this, it's you and the institutions. When we get out here, it's you, the institutions, and the market makers. So you added a third player to the game, and volatility certainly can pick up, and that's really what you want to take away from those levels. You don't want to get caught in anything. You don't want to get caught with your pants down on that. That's going to get you screwed. So a lot of references just in that line. Not in the kind you guys want, I'll put it that way. Palantir's expecting a $1.15, so 25.33. See if I can't get that. 23.03. All right, now we rolled our contract. So as far as the growth count goes, we did roll the contracts. We have one or two? We have one. I have multiple contracts on Palantir. I will pull that up. All right, so we are in Hood, Palantir. Okay, and then we sold Google. Gosh, there's so many ways I want to. Guys, I actually am struggling as far as the growth count goes. Do I want to have that net cast out with AI stocks? Do I want to just put that and kind of create more income with it? So I am struggling. I don't want to miss out on any runs, and I don't want to say that's FOMO driven. Let's see, what Palantir do we have? Okay, so we sold the 25.50. We're good there. As far as Hood goes, we sold the 18 strike calls. All right, so we sold the 25.50. So it'll be the type 2. So even if Palantir were to run up, we have to contend with that zone and the expected move. So hopefully if we were to get up above there, comes back down, rein it back in, we come out smelling like a rose. Maybe next week we'll sell the 26s or higher. If we do push up, likely the 27s. We sold Google. Oh, we sold Google. You sold something else. Yeah. I accidentally bought GOOG instead of GOOGL. Now, Goog and Goog-L, pennies difference, but if you're now, I wouldn't have made that mistake in the options world, because in the options world, Goog-L has quite a bit more volume than Goog. As far as shares go, there's really no 6 and 1/2 dozen. It doesn't matter. You have voting rights with Google, but as far as trading goes, nothing to worry about. Options chain, it's not a mistake you'd want to make. Not that you even could. Let's just talk about a few of these real quick. Hang on, I'm gonna let that go. Tesla 163.37. 178.29. And after this stream, I'm putting the expected moves indicator back up. I already don't like typing these back in. So I told you guys I was going to sell the 160 puts on Tesla. They just, after that push up, now I've sold quite a few. They just weren't worth that much. So what I sold instead was the 162.50s after that push up. So if it does drop, that is where I will take assignment of those shares. Again, I'm going to sell that until it does assign. And then once it gets below there, 140s and then 120s will be the next set of puts that I do sell on Tesla. But I gotta say, I am this close to just margining 100 shares in the growth account and just selling calls every week. All right, if they get assigned, if they get taken away, they get taken away. How do I do meta? All right, Meta's expected move 523.88. $495.28. As far as Meta goes, trending up. Everything is looking good. We're above this horizontal range and bull flag on top of that. So a lot of Well, not a lot of reasons to short. I'll put it that way. Now, Microsoft, guys, I gotta say, I think Microsoft might win the AI race. I have a video coming out about who they hired and all that. I will say it's a guy that quit Google because Google had too much red tape. They didn't want to deal with it. Didn't want to jack with it. So he quit, starts his own AI company up, and then goes to Microsoft. So why do you quit something with a whole bunch of red tape just to go right back into it? I'm speculating, but I'm pretty sure Microsoft said, "Here's a check. Come work for us. Also, we're going to look the other way. You have free reign. Just do it." So watch out for that video coming out. It just the open AI stuff, everything, all their connections. I just think Microsoft has got to be one of the top contenders. Speaking of AI, Nvidia just continues to roll. 893.42. If it got sub 900, I think I would buy for sure. Nvidia 9923. Man. The thing is with Nvidia is I 100% have FOMO. I've thought about just buying a share of this in the growth account as well, just to have one. But then we just have money just sitting there that, again, could be good long term, but we need money now. So that's why I haven't done that yet. But as far as what Nvidia is doing for now, I actually don't think that's cheap or expensive anymore. Let's see. Net liquid 3902. He says, "You want to buy 100 shares in the growth count? My growth doesn't look like it would allow that." Well, stop being so broke. Let's see. Cash balance. Sell everything. I don't think we have enough, regardless, to do that. But we're almost there. Get Robinhood like a real player. Robinhood does have a little bit more. Still, we're just shy of. I don't think we buy 100 shares yet. And so guys, I was going to ask you guys a question. Everybody in the growth account, everybody following that, right? Whether you're in the mentorship or you're part of the Patreon. I was thinking, like, do I want to do another account to get access to futures? And it sounds like we don't have to worry about that because not Microsoft. Microsoft's going to have futures. Robinhood might be getting access to futures. Woo! We're making some money. Robinhood saving the day again. Yeah, that's going to be amazing. So yeah, hopefully we don't have to ask that question. Let's see, Amazon 182.84. Also, I don't know if it would be responsible to just whole account Tesla like that and sell some calls. We would make money. We sure would. If it was sideways or marginally up or just a little bit down. If it jumped off a cliff, though, those are decisions you'd have to make. Like when you have a small account, you have to trade like that, and you go taking YOLO plays. You might as well. What are you following me for? Like just follow Wall Street bets. That's the kind of stuff they take, and then it just goes away. Your money's gone. You've all seen that episode on South Park. So I want to avoid doing any of that, but I think if the deal's right, you can put out a little bit more. As far as Apple goes, though, that's looking like trouble. I like Apple at these levels. If you're thinking long term kind of play, so they have this another court thing going on. Is it antitrust this time? It's usually antitrust or monopoly. So that sent it just zone to zone. All things just considered, that's a pretty strong sell off. Borderline bear flag action on top of a little tiny bear flag. Certainly a knife catch if you're buying it in this zone. If I were to do that as a trade, 169.85 is where my stop would be, and then I'd have to be out of that thing because your next dip buy will probably be around 159. They saw the growth account, bought the stock. Who's giving this guy inside information? Clearly, something's going on. All right, Google. Zone to zone. Been saying that a lot lately. Uh, Especially in the mentorship group. 154.43. Look at that. I'm gonna leave that there just because I was eyeballing it. I was just getting it away from the zone so I could just double click on it. 2 cents off. Oh yeah. 147.11. All right, as far as Google goes, I would still be bullish, but it'd be really cool if we could like pull back. If we just catch a dip in this, dip by that thing around 149. That'd be great. Google red, please. I made a mistake. I want it back. Don, Nvidia. How about 2 shares of CMG before the split? Why? I saw something about Microsoft in China today as well. Can't get Reuters article on this computer. The procurement guidance also seeks to sideline Microsoft Windows operating system. And okay, yeah. So in China, they're trying to block. I think Intel. I think it's Intel and AMD. Sounds like Microsoft's gonna make that list. Meta long calls. Just not a fan of buying long calls like that for at the time you're gonna give it at all time highs. Not yet. I want to dip by. I know Chipotle is doing a 50-1 stock split, but what's that mean for me? No one's really chasing that. Okay, 50-1 stock split can sell calls against 100 shares. Have you seen the? We'll pull up the options chain on Chipotle. Maybe that changes after the split, but right now, uh, actually, let's finish these expected moves up. Let's go over Chipotle. Let's talk about that. We only have a couple left. Anyway, Google, I'd like to buy at on a dip. Ford, this thing's about to go away in my account. I lost a lot of Ford on not lost a lot in Ford. Let a lot of shares go on Friday. So if you guys have been following me for a while, then you know I've had Ford for over a decade. Decade? Yeah, pretty close. And I've been selling calls against it. I have more than bought my whole position of Ford just by selling calls against it. So my average cost on Ford is negative, probably $1 million. But I am that much in AI. So I was selling calls and then let them go. I had some 32s and some 82s gone. Freedom. It felt weird. It felt like I imagine what it's going to feel like when my kids go off to college, assuming AI doesn't take over and college is even a thing. We know that's not true. 4403. 4111. Intel. I wonder how they'll take the China news. So I like Intel, but if Intel breaks this 41, I would expect it down here at 36, the next yellow zone. All right, last but not least, we added the Netflix to the expected moves indicator because I was going to trade it a lot more. I wanted to bring it back in, but I have not done jack with it. I think since we've done that, I've sold a few cash secured puts. That's it. Just don't let your kids drive Fords. They won't be driving anything. They'll be in Teslas driving by themselves. All right, I know I said we were going to do Chipotle, but this was asked about. Rejected on the weekly zone. As far as a dividend stock goes, I think I'd be waiting down around that $100 mark, to be honest. Maybe a solid red week gets to that 100 mark, and then you're good. I would be really curious about this area right here. Getting above. It'd be a strong move getting it above 110. Ultimately, you want to see it above 113. Get above 113. I think we're on the gain train. But right now, we are still. That's a lower high if it rejects right now. So you want to put in a higher low. Now, hopefully that's the higher low right there. And maybe we don't get a red week right now. Maybe it does just push it up to here, then come back down. That would be the best. But for this week, you need it above this zone. Hmm. Monthly, quarterly window dressing this week. Okay. Well, we have seen we do see certain things get pumped up at that time. And what that means is institutions that have to show their clients, hey, we are in this, we're in that. This is how good we've done. Again, those statements are about to get printed off. So right now they got to dress it up, make things look good. Uh, so this used to be pretty popular, like with Tesla institutions. There are some that just wouldn't like it, but you just see it at the end of the quarter, they'd have to buy something in it because when they show their clients that statement and the client says you're not in Tesla, even though they're not the managers, the clients aren't. But they heard on Facebook that it was good, and now they're curious why you're not in it. All right. Chipotle is doing a 50-1 stock split. Probably because I think as far as the float on Chipotle goes, I think it's 30, like 30 shares available. Anyway, Chipotle, there's the Rona crash right here. This little hiccup, that's the Rona crash. From 864, it sold all the way off, 50% down to 430. No big deal because we're at $2,800 right now. Not bad. Anyway, I don't really care for this just because, first of all, every time I look at it, it is just sideways. But man, it does just have its grind up. Like all of that is just sideways action. Could be good for selling. But at the same time, if that does bring liquidity to the options chain, then we might be onto something. Because it should be just negligible how many people are in this. Yeah, so here's your volume and open interest. These are at the monies, 25. 25 contracts on that. That's puts. How many calls? All right, so we got a couple more calls. 30. And then just your whatever first box out of the money. 78 open interest. Absolutely nothing. Which is why I've just never truly cared for it. And as far as trading it goes, it ties up a lot of capital, and there's just been much better plays out there for me. But it's been a phenomenal ticker. But maybe after the split, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Looks like that split is happening June 26th, 50-1. Let's see what it goes. I don't know if anybody's going to front run that. And would that even be front running, or is it just going to continue to grind up? So ideally, companies will do splits like this because someone will say Chipotle is too expensive. It's $2,800. I can't buy that because people have no idea what they're talking about. They would not want to buy one share at $2,800, but they will buy $2,800 worth of a crap penny stock because it's cheaper and easier. They'll watch that go away as opposed to watch their money climb up owning one share. But you can't play market maker. You can't brag to your friends and say, I bought a share. So companies to entice new investors and all that or almost just any investor, some people just have their rules, will bring the price down. I can get 50 shares. Exactly. All right. As far as the other news goes, I don't know if there's anything else to really bring up. Short week this week. Hopefully we all send it. All right. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Do me a huge solid. Hit the thumbs up. I would say thumbs up, share, you subscribe, all that cool stuff. But actually, I want to know in the comments down below, what are you trading? What are you thinking this week? I need to start getting you guys used to commenting down below. I need more comments. I'm going to bribe you guys. One, I like talking to you guys, I like seeing the comments, I like to see opinions, opposing forces, if you will. Maybe I said something you didn't agree with. Yeah, let me know. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.